Next speaker, Izzy.
Good afternoon. I'm here again because the level of inhumanity happening within our city borders demands it. You already know that the last few days have been exhausting, heartbreaking, and absolutely enraging. I usually try to consider all perspectives, but I'm no longer accepting the city's response. Contigo offers good insight, helpful resources, but a website is not enough. Hiding behind digital initiatives and quiet legal help out of fear of political backlash is unacceptable. This is a pattern of complicity to an overfunded agency by the disgusting administration attacking our neighborhoods. Other cities are sending stronger messages to ICE and standing up for their people. Anaheim needs to be doing the same. During the most critical moments, we didn't need a webpage or a press release claiming ICE was not present at Anaheim Global Medical Center. We needed protection and we needed presence. We needed strength. We needed backup. Not an official arriving on site to obfuscate the presence of immigration agencies inside the hospital. ICE was there. DHS vans came in for shift changes. Private security under immigration agencies were inside. To dance around semantics for public media is not what we need. I personally spent 16 hours monitoring hospital grounds the night before she was taken. Others stayed well past 24 hours. The city of Anaheim, you had a rep show up for a few moments in the afternoon. The community, not you, bought us blankets, they bought us water, they bought us dinner, they bought us snacks, and they gave us dignity. Neighbors bought us everything. I don't care about your photo ops, and I don't care that you spoke up at the No Kings rally. Where were you when we needed you on the ground? You could have sent support. You could have condemned DHS and ICE, but all you did was have Mike Lister make a report on Contigo. I'm done asking upper middle class suburban adults to show less fear than the youth of color coming from low income neighborhoods. They have more to lose than you do, and they're the ones that are showing up. They're the ones that are standing guard. I hope you don't think I forgot about JD Vance coming to Anaheim. Let's not pretend that Anaheim had no power. You couldn't stop him from entering, but you could have denied him Anaheim Police Department support. You could have made a public statement denouncing his presence and his anti-immigrant policies. You could have refused to offer resources or police protection that gave him the illusion of safety. While our families down the street from the Grand Hotel live in a persecuted state, other cities condemned his presence. San Francisco did it and Oakland did it. You decided to keep your legacy as complacent. During our protests, we saw Anaheim Police Department escort known ICE vehicles. We saw them move, so I'm going to be sending a formal demand to the clerk under the CPA, Public Records Act, or Government Code 6250 to request all records from January 2024 to today of all communications between Anaheim PD and ICE, DHS, CBP, HIS, because you like to dance around semantics. All emails, all texts, all call logs, all memos, all booking data, all records of ride-alongs, joint operations, transfers, escorts, and any documents that guided communication with these fascists. While you were silent and fearful, we were standing outside a hospital putting ourselves at risk, guarding our people. In the words of Fred Hampton, and I hope you know who the hell he is, I am not afraid of death. I'm afraid of people not standing up. In the words of Assata Shakur, nobody in the world, nobody in the history has ever gotten their freedom by appealing to the moral sense of the people who were oppressing them. Fight back, damn it!
I am here with a slightly unique perspective as an emergency department nurse, a community member, and a public health nurse. These are my words. They're not necessarily the words of the hospital that employs me. We've been living in Anaheim for 11 years, but I am here to say, please keep Immigration and Customs out of all of our hospitals. As an emergency nurse, we live by this federal legislation from 1986 called EMTALA that says no matter who you are, when you show up, we take the best care of you possible. That is what I do as a nurse. I don't care who you are. I am here to take care of you on what might be the worst day of your life. I know our system isn't perfect, but that is what I am there for. And I don't need more barriers, because if you can't be honest with me about what's going on in your time and your life, I can't take good care of you. And as a public health nurse, every time there's barriers to care, this becomes a public health problem. If you're concerned to seek care for your tuberculosis, for your hepatitis, for your measles, or anything else, this becomes a safety issue for the community, and we don't need more barriers to a safe community. Our immigration, also as an emergency room nurse, I routinely, almost every shift, have encounters with legitimate law enforcement, and I can say that those look entirely different. And those are my partners, those are members of my community, those are my teammates, and they are welcome in my emergency department. But these people that have chosen to willfully, wildly disregard our constitutional rights and our practice of law are not welcome Please keep them out. I'm there to save dead babies and make sure people get the care they need. Please don't make my job harder. Thank you.
Good evening. I am Reverend Una Casanova Vasquez, a 40-plus year resident of the city of Anaheim, an ordained elder in the Church of the Nazarene, and a volunteer with CLU, which is CLU Justice, which is Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice. First, let me thank you all for your continued service and commitment to our community. I am here today to bring awareness to our city government regarding the impact of ICE, DHS, and other federal agencies, and their impact on a specific healthcare issue. Recently, a woman named Milagro Solis Portillo was detained by said federal organizations outside her home in Sherwin Oaks without a warrant, and during her detainment, she was transported to Glendale Memorial Hospital. So why is this important to Anaheim citizens? Because on Friday, July 18th, officers removed her from Glendale Memorial Hospital and transported her to Anaheim Global Medical Center, where she remained until they moved her again on Monday, July 21st. It has come to my attention that the hospital has issued a statement on this matter. However, I have personally spoken with her family, providing spiritual support while they were here in Anaheim this weekend, and I can attest to the fact that she was taken from Glendale Hospital against medical advice and immediately transferred to Anaheim Global, where she was denied access to legal counsel, family visitation, and without a warrant in our city. Now, I understand that you have received information from the hospital administration that makes her detainment seem less horrific than it was. However, in speaking with anonymous hospital staff members, I am able to attest that the hospital administration was less than truthful. Due to the sensitive nature of the situation and the fear of potentially losing their employment, I am here to rebut the official hospital statement. Anaheim Global says it wasn't ICE. I want to ask you right now, does it matter if it was ICE, if it was DHS, if it was a different federal agency? Rights are being violated under the guise of, oh, it's not ICE. Why am I saying this? Because I have been one of the many members of the clergy who is volunteering at immigration hearings where people's cases are dismissed and asylum revoked all without reason, and they are being immediately detained. Yes, I was there when that woman had that anxiety attack. I watched that happen. I was there. Okay? All of this is happening in immigration courts all over our country, and I ask that this not happen in our hospitals in our city.
Good evening. The kidnappings did not start on June 6th. Our community has had so much experience showing up for their own people, for our own people, because they know that we could never rely on a government or an institution like the city council. Our community has had their own network of support without ever relying on government or institutions. Whenever we had a community member that was deported, we would crowdfund between each other, between our neighbors and loved ones. We would always find a means to support one another. We are not new to this. This may be your first time you're actually hearing impacted people coming to your chambers and speaking to you directly to let you know you're not doing enough. I would like to ask that y'all update your Anaheim Contigo site and think about the impacted families and what they must feel when they read this. As a city, we advocate for comprehensive, humane immigration reform with sensible border security, practical worker programs, and earned citizenship for those who have played by the rules since coming here. We appreciate the sentiment, but we don't appreciate how you don't think about the people who have been going to their immigration check-ins and have been kidnapped by people who don't identify themselves or present a warrant signed by a judge. How all the community members are being kidnapped by Nazis at their immigration check-ins. They were playing by the rules and they were still kidnapped. Some were kidnapped with their children. Are you aware of the amount of irreversible trauma and PTSD that this is causing to our families? Have you ever checked in with families? Have they cried to you asking what are they supposed to do? Have they told you that they are so close to giving up? up, how many of them stopped taking their children to summer programs due to fear, how many children haven't even had a summer break because they are stuck inside. However, they understand the sacrifice they have to make to keep their families safe. I hope you never face the fear of going outside, of not being able to feel the sun because you don't want to be taken away from your kids. You don't want to be pushed, punched, or kicked and beaten to the ground. The last thing I want to mention is about the little support you are offering families. It took y'all almost an entire month to plan out a whole program. Our families don't have a month. Some are behind on rent. Some don't have food on their table. Many haven't worked since June 6th. The resources aren't even accessible. Most families don't have the mental stability to email over their utility bill to you. Some don't have internet. We're talking about the most vulnerable in our communities here. Can y'all please keep that in mind when developing these plans? Do a better job, and remember, you are public servants. You serve us. Without us, you don't have a job, so get to work.